Welcome back to the Teen Titans, right here at Comicstorian, where we take your favorite comic books, break down the storylines into a digestible bite, and then read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright issues, and keep in mind this is a condensed synopsis version of the story. Make sure you check out Teen Titans issue 43 through 45 to get the actual complete story, because today is just a series on YouTube. Now, when we last left off with the Teen Titans, they had finally freed Jin from the ring, and they had defeated the other. So what was left for them to do except, well, disband? No one trusted Damian Wayne anymore. He had decided to capture all the villains, put them in a prison, and when that was caught, he used his genie Jin to go ahead and rewrite their brains. But now that all of her stuff has happened, everyone's gone back to the way they were before. They're no longer being brainwashed by Jin, which leads us to no more Robin. As the sun sets on Gotham, the sound of punches and kicks can be heard from a small warehouse on the shores of the city. But with each hit that finds its mark, Damian thinks to himself that Batman was right. Well, partly. Fear is his biggest weapon, believing it's enough to keep criminals in the line. It is a powerful weapon, but not when it is only used halfway. As one of the thugs is knocked across the room, Damian pauses, asking, "Why are you here?" And the voice tells him that first, he is welcome, and second, it's because he is worried. Superboy floats up above, and Damian says that he should really be focusing on what's happening in the 31st century, not on him. He's busy with the Legion of Superheroes right now. But before Damian could attack him again, Superboy rounds up all the thugs, telling him, "I'm worried about your future. The records for this era are Swiss cheese, rumors, glimpses, but they're all making me anxious." After Damian finishes tying everyone up, Superboy pulls him aside, telling him, "I'm worried, like, really worried. Is everything okay, Damian?" Damian looks Superboy in the eyes and then turns, telling him, "I'm fine. I am not afraid of the future or the past." Meanwhile, over at Mercy Hall, Red Arrow finishes examining some of the dirt left behind by the killer in Brother Blood's lair, stating that it would seem that the person who killed Brother Blood wanted to be caught. When Kid Flash questions how she knew that, Red Arrow tells him that there's been some evidence left behind. And after calling everyone to Mercy Hall, Roundhouse says that this just seems personal. Crush says, "Personally, I'm glad that Brother Blood never got the chance. I just wish that I was the one who punched his ticket." Kid Flash tells her that actually, based on the evidence, it was them. And Red Arrow specifies that it seems that it was Robin. Everyone stands in silence for a moment. The leader that they had formerly, the one that they kicked out. And Roundhouse says, "No, that's not Robin. He wouldn't." But speaking of potential actions from Damian, it did catch the eye of the world's greatest detective and his father. Batman quickly picks up a clue at Wayne Manor and quietly says, "Damian, what are you planning, son?" Later that night at the docks in New York, Damian sits atop of another warehouse watching a group of men getting off a ship, preparing to make a trade. He tells himself that this city will become one where the crime has consequences, where criminals will live in fear, not the people. A world without crime, no more hiding. No more hiding from who I am, or what needs to be done. Damian watches KG Beast in the middle of a deal, stating that this man gave Nightwing amnesia from a near-fatal headshot, which we covered in our Batman storyline in which Nightwing was shot in the head. In return, Batman broke KG's back, and yet here he stands, alive. But tonight, that ends. Damian begins to get himself in position, but as he draws his sword, a voice says for him to stop. He turns back, and Damian sees the rest of the Teen Titans, and Red Arrow tells him that it's over. He crossed the line. Murder isn't the answer. She learned that the hard way. But Damian stops them. It wasn't murder. It was a message. Fear is the message. Until they fear what can be done to them, they'll never stop. None of it stops until... But before Damian could finish, Roundhouse punches him, yelling, "You monster! All I wanted was to be a hero, a Teen Titan, and you corrupted it! You ruined it! You ruined everything!" As everyone else joins into the attack, Damian dodges, telling them all, "I ruined nothing. I only offer the truth." He jumps down into the alleyway, and KG Beast sees him and begins to open fire. "All good. Now I hurt all of Bat's boys." Damian pulls out his sword, slashing into KG Beast's chest, telling him, "Your hurting days are over!" But while Damian is engaging him, the rest of the Teen Titans quickly jump in to intervene. However, while fighting KG Beast, Damian manages to outmaneuver his team, and he makes one slice. As Damian's sword cuts through KG Beast's machine gun arm, he tells everyone, "This isn't over until they all fear me!" Damian then grabs the fallen gun, pointing it at KG Beast, with KG Beast telling him, "You one's going for justice. You're doing this for your bat comrade." Damian tells him, "I'm doing this for..." But before he could pull the trigger, Kid Flash runs in, grabbing KG Beast, telling him, "You're not doing anything." Damian yells for Kid Flash, "You cannot run from this! You cannot run from me!" But at that moment, Crush punches Damian in the back of the head, telling him, "We ain't running." As Red Arrow attacks, Damian leaps out of the way, telling them, "What are you doing?" And Roundhouse tells him that he needs help. They all need help, to be honest. Damian charges in, headbutting Roundhouse, telling him, "I need you to see the truth!" As the fight goes on, Damian seems to be winning, with Red Arrow managing to get one good crack in and Crush grabbing him, telling him, "It's time to run the bulls." As Roundhouse picks himself back up, he tells Damian, "I'm sorry for this," and then he runs straight into him, launching him into the wall. Damian's confused, disoriented, and he begins to cough. "I see how it is. I have my answer. You're not ready." He throws a flash bomb to the ground, and as Red Arrow yells for him not to get away, they quickly realize it is too late and Robin has left. Meanwhile, over at the remains of Janus Cosmetics, the prisoners that were once held by Damian gather. Gizmo, Mammoth, Swerve, Joystick, Black Mask all sit in a room, and Joystick says that this is personal. Why don't they just do this themselves? And Gizmo tells him that this job isn't really any of their expertise, and Black Mask adds that that's true. They want the job done right. So who better to kill the Teen Titans than Deathstroke? Back in the city, the team breaks off into pairs looking for Damian, but when they come up with nothing, they all begin to head back to Mercy Hall. Except when they get back, they find Damian standing outside. Damian tries to explain what he was doing, giving his motives, that he just wanted them all to fear him. But Red Arrow, Crush, and Roundhouse all take their turns hitting Robin, and in the end, Kid Flash tells him that they're here to help him, and that help starts with bringing him in. As Damian gets back up, a voice calls out, telling them all, "It's over." Batman looms over them, telling them, "The Teen Titans are finished." But then his gaze turns to Damian and he tells him, "You're the one who killed Brother Blood, and you would have killed KG Beast if your teammates hadn't stopped you. It started with holding criminals against their will, wiping their minds, and all of them followed blindly." Damian tells him that they were doing what he was taught to do, that which Batman fails to do himself. "The criminals, they no longer fear you, Father! They fear the Teen Titans now." Batman looks at the team and sees their obvious unease with Damian's recent decisions, but then Red Arrow steps forward and tells him that the only ones who fear him is them. They've gone too far. She's gone too far. She killed Deathstroke. There's no running from this, no running from the truth. The Teen Titans, they're finished. Damian scoffs as he turns his back. "You're all just like him. You're all too afraid." Batman stands in Damian's way. "You are right. I am afraid. Afraid of losing." But before he could finish, the explosion goes off, knocking everyone back, and on top of the building, Deathstroke smiles. "Now the fun begins." He jumps down, pulling Damian's cape from the rubble, telling him, "You can run all you want, but there's no running from me." Red Arrow pulls himself out of the debris, asking, "Deathstroke, how are you alive? Where is everyone? Where's Kid Flash?" As Kid Flash gets up, Red Arrow runs over, hugging him, telling him, Wait, how is Deathstroke alive?" Crush asks, "Right, how can we kill him again?" Red Arrow stops her, telling her, "No, that's Robin's way. The Teen Titans don't kill." And then Batman tells them, "Correct, because there's no Teen Titans. Go home. I'm gonna handle Deathstroke." A few streets over, Damian runs into an abandoned warehouse, yelling, "Show yourself! It's the two of us!" Deathstroke leaps out of the shadows with his swords, telling them, "It's just us, so it's time to finish things, boy." As Deathstroke swings, Damian dodges, but is kicked in the back onto a set of stairs. Damian catches himself as a hidden blade pops out of his boot, stating, "Red Arrow thought she killed you, but I'm gonna make sure you stay dead this time." Damian launches himself back, digging the blade into Deathstroke's stomach, kicking him out the window and into the alleyway. He laughs, telling him, "You were always my favorite, Robin, because you weren't afraid of getting your hands dirty." As Damian jumps down, Deathstroke quickly gets up, punching into Damian over and over again, knocking him to the ground. He then pulls out his sword, telling him, "You've had a good run, but we both know how it always ends for Robins." But before he could bring that sword down, a voice calls out to him, and Kid Flash tells him, "You may have won the first round, but how about we go round 2, Deathstroke?" Crush crashes into the ground, narrowly missing Deathstroke, and Damian yells for them all to fall back. "Leave them. This fight is not for the weak." Crush gets back up, telling him, "A simple thanks for saving my ass wouldn't hurt." Damian runs back fighting Deathstroke, and Red Arrow yells that they have a chance to fix this. It starts by bringing them both in. With Deathstroke's attention focused on Damian, Crush runs in tackling into him, but as she gets ready to finish things, Deathstroke grabs the dumpster that he was thrown into, bashing Crush with it. Deathstroke then gets up charging into Red Arrow, telling her, "It's time we end this game." And as he does, Damian tells him, "I couldn't agree more," and he slashes into Deathstroke's back with his own sword. Damian swings again, making cut after cut, telling him, "Tonight you die! We can put you away and it'll end nothing. You'll break free and kill again and again and again." Damian jumps up to land the finishing blow, but Red Arrow jumps in to block it with her bow, telling him, "No!" But the force in the sword pushes through, cutting into Red Arrow's shoulder. Kid Flash quickly runs through, grabbing her, but Red Arrow tells him that she's fine. Deathstroke and Crush scoffs, telling them, "Great, he already vanished." Roundhouse then says that now they have blood on their hands and a target on their backs. "Thanks to you, Robin." Damian stands there with a bloody sword, but before he could speak, Batman jumps down, telling him, "I don't know why this is happening, but it needs to stop. This isn't you. Put the blade down before this goes too far." Damian looks at Batman, thinking back to the times with Alfred. He begins to walk forward, walking the same steps he did when he went to Alfred. And as he gets close, he punches Batman in the mouth. He keeps swinging, but as Batman deflects the attacks, he tells him, "Please, it's time to come home, Damian." Damian breaks through the defenses, asking him, "Home? What home? Wayne Manor? It's a coffin! There's nothing in that tomb that'll change my mind. If you just open up your eyes, you would see that there's nothing for you either. There will not be another lecture in those empty halls. I will not stop. This is the only logical conclusion to the path that I set on so many years ago. We've sent criminals to these jails and asylums to do what? To get the same results over and over. Why can't you see that? Why aren't you fighting back? Why? Because I love you. And you're right, I have failed. I failed to you." Damian thinks back to Alfred's final moments and how he watched Bane end his life. Everything led to this. Damian grabs the Robin badge from his costume, ripping it off in one hard pull. He hands the badge to Batman and he tells him, "You'll never truly see me as long as I remain in the shadows. And now I am finally free." So quick note, I actually had it incorrect. That is not Teen Titans 43, 44, 45. That is actually Teen Titans 43, 44 in the annual. So that's that for you. If you want to know what happens next, 45 is already out. Go check that out at your local comic book store, or go check out Comicsology, or wait patiently as the next story arc comes to a conclusion. We'll be bringing that to you just like we have brought every chapter of Teen Titans. But now we are as far caught up as we're going to get with Teen Titans for the moment. So to take a break from this until the inevitable conclusion comes out, we are going to bring you 2 episodes of Flash for the next 2 Fridays. We're going to conclude Flash as it has come to its story arc conclusion as well. So stick around, join us next Friday to find out what's going on with Barry Allen. And when that concludes, we're going to be bringing you more Batman, getting you caught up on that storyline. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you, Patreons and YouTube membership members. You guys are the best out there. Without you, we wouldn't be able to exist. So thank you so much for your support. And don't forget, guys, subscribe, hit that like button if you want to, if you think we did a good job. And I will see you next Friday right here for your next DC chapter.